All right, let's give this one a chance.
60 to 70% of divorces are initiated by women after the age of 40. Let that hit you in the face. Women are straight up dumping their husbands once the kids are grown and the hormones start doing backflips and cartwheels.
It seems to be a popular thing right now, right? You hear the stat get tossed around. Women are vacating their relationships, their long-term marriages.
This is the latest data. Women initiate about 69% of divorces. And among couples over 50, that gray divorce, that number stays roughly the same, around 66 to 70%. And in many cases, men are blindsided while the woman was emotionally checked out long before the papers were filed. Why? Here's the brutal truth.
Emotionally checked out. It's another one of those terms. Self-care and finding myself and emotionally checked out. You know, like, guys are like, well, what does all that mean? I don't know. She's got a big man jacket on there, I see. She's probably married, I'm guessing.
The first reason is she is done with your if you stopped taking her on dates, stopped taking care of yourself, came home, grabbed the phone, cracked the beer, ate the chips, and zoned out on the game while she handled
It just sounds like a ChatGPT script. It may not be, but it kind of does.
the house, the kids, the emotions, everything, she's over it. You became her roommate with a friggin' pulse. She's tired of being your maid and or your mom, and she knows that she deserves better. The second reason, if you married her at 22, what did you expect to happen 30 years later? She's a completely different person. New passions, new confidence, new boundaries. If you did not grow with her, if you stayed stuck in the same
Yeah, I don't think everybody's a brand new person after 20, 30 years. I think that's just something the AI says. It doesn't really know what being human really is.
habits, you weren't improving yourself, your sex game went stale, you stopped being adventurous, she got bored. She evolved and you didn't. And she's not settling for that old version of you anymore. Third reason is menopause. That's the final straw. Her hormones flip, her tolerance crashes, every ignored.
That could probably be number one. Menopause is like anything with hormones is so difficult. And I feel bad for women. And I feel really bad for men who have to deal with all that too. It's hard. Yeah, and trying to let her know, I think you might be crying like this all of a sudden because something's not going right with your hormones. Try saying that to her. Let me know in the comments if that worked for anybody. I dated a woman with Hashimoto's, and that affects your hormones. And it was a nightmare. And I don't blame her at all because it was so obvious that there was like a chemical reaction that was going on inside of her. I'd go to the bathroom and she'd be like, hey. I'd come out of the bathroom. It would be like a new person would be standing there. That's hormone signaling. That's not her. And if menopause is anything like that, then that's a nightmare for women and it's a nightmare for men. Because as a man, you want to fix it, you want to help. You get out the toolbox and tighten the bolts and the screws and build a little awning to protect from the rain. You want to do stuff to help. And hormones are just a tricky wasteland of issues, and it's hard to balance things. When you go from doctor to doctor, it's not easy. So making life decisions when you're going through menopause, you can make some whoppers. You may not be making slow down. Am I bored because I'm not taking any initiative, or is it my husband's fault? Is it proximity blame? He's over there. It's got to be him that's doing this and making me all bored. He's not fulfilling me. Well, try to take your hormones into account. Like, what are they doing to me? Sure, some marriages aren't great. And live your life. Move on. Fine. But sometimes, yeah, I spent many years trying to deal with Hashimoto's, and I learned as much as I can. And I learned there was nothing I could do. We tried diet, and she was a real trooper. She tried different diets, and she stuck with it, and things were hard. But none of it really helped. And she had headaches on top of it. It's hard as a man to watch someone you love suffer like that. So menopause, oh gosh, that's really hard for women and really hard for men.
problem explodes. And if you are not helping her level her hormones, she's gone.
I've never heard of anyone helping anyone level their hormones. Maybe there's a doctor out there that can do it, and that's great. I think you should pursue that. But you, as your husband, yeah, you try to be supportive as you can.
And the fourth reason, she's got her own money. She's also have her own friends and her own life, and you let her work like a man, just like you.
Those friends might not be there. You meet them for wine every once in a while. You think they're going to be there. No, they got a new boyfriend themselves, and they're going to be all involved with them. Or yeah, it's not what you think. Being on your own at 40 and 50, it's not what you think, and it's not what everybody on social media and the people you're following are having you believe. Go to that corner of TikTok where all the women are crying after their. I don't think I made the biggest mistake of my life. There's thousands of those videos. It's not what you think, So just think things through. I always say try to work it out with the person you're with. Why not? Maybe talk with them, and maybe you set up some adventures and you set up some stuff that isn't boring instead of just blaming the people around you.
And then why would she depend on you anymore? She was a wife, a mom, and busting her ass, working full time every day for years. She carried it all. Now she's fried. No
Yeah, she carried it all.
more staying for the kids or the mortgage. She's gone. Here's a little bit of more data for you. Post-divorce, only 27% of women regret it. Men, 39% do. So more women are happy that they chose to divorce versus
Yeah, right. It's the best. I'm living my best life. I got self-care and I'm finding myself and blah, blah, blah. 3 weeks later, I don't think I made the biggest mistake. Yeah, these stats, when are you asking these people? It's lonely. When you wake up Saturday morning in your kitchen, there's no one else there. Yeah, ask them then for your statistic report, and then tell me how great it is on your own. If your marriage isn't working out, it isn't working out. But if you're just bored, you think it's going to get all exciting out there. You're not prepared for what's coming.
versus the ones who didn't. And here's some instruction for you. Don't marry young and clueless. Date long. Grow together. Step up every day. Dates, effort, self-care, adventure, intimacy, and polarity. And communicate. Evolve. Talk and be honest.
She's like throwing in the AI is throwing in every cliche out there. Yeah, and generally, yeah, you should make the best of your life. And it should be fun and kind of interesting. And you should get into new things instead of just rotting away doing the same old stuff. And sometimes doing the same old stuff is fun. Don't listen to what everyone's telling you to do. But, there's some basic things. Just look at yourself and decide.
With her. Or watch her walk away once she hits 40. 60 to 70% of divorce.
Whatever. Let's see what people say in the comments. She stopped putting out and he stopped giving a shit. Yeah. LOL, takes two to tango. I love how it's somehow his responsibility to manage her hormones. Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, you got to be supportive and like, all right, we'll find a good doctor. Don't worry. Don't try not to get upset. We're going to figure this out. Be a man. But, don't go up with her and say, yeah, I think it's going, your hormones. You were really happy 10 seconds ago. Now you're crying hysterically. I think there's something. You can't rationalize with them in that state because it's the hormones are giving them all these emotions that feel real. Imagine that. as a dude. You're like, all of a sudden, these weird emotions kicking in from out of nowhere, and you're crying, and then you're really happy. And then there's the physical issues as well. It's a winding road. So it's the man's fault. Shocker. Stay single, guys. When you are when you are selfish, divorce is always the easy way out. Eh, sometimes it doesn't work out. David Bullock says, which is why at 52 I've never been married. Came close a couple of times, and now friends say I'm the smartest guy in the room. I was never jealous of my married friends or the people I knew who was married. I'd never been married. I had long-term relationships, but it was always great that when it was over, I didn't have to go through all the legal system and all that. It just didn't, And I watched my friends, the people I knew, and I was never jealous. Time to check out, guys. My ex smoked, didn't take care of herself. She's the one who cracked the beer, grabbed the phone, ate the chips. I continued to work out, was never over 8% body fat. In my 40s, she left, shacked up with a fat dude, and kids stayed with me. Yeah, that's what I mean. Always stay at your dating weight. Always keep yourself going like it could end. I just think it's the smart, men and women, both. Have respect for the person you're with. What does it say when you you let it all go? It says, I don't care about you, who I'm married to. I don't really care enough to stay in shape. That's what it says. Tell me I'm wrong. Okay. But there's a lot of respect that goes out with that. Oh, our bedroom fund dried up. Well, are you 50 pounds overweight now? Man, women, it doesn't matter. Both of you. Stay in shape. It's gonna work out. And look at it worked out for this guy. He's got his kids and she went off with the fat dude. I disagree with no marrying young. Marry young, grow together, pray together, live for each other. There's all different ways of doing it, There's no who's to say? Why would I expect that after 30 years she's a different person? And this is my fault then. What the F? Yeah, I don't think she's a different person. We have to take into account the influence of present culture, which teaches everybody to be completely dissatisfied with everything, especially men who somehow in the last 10 years have become terrible and awful. All of us. And this man hate culture has just been flooded into women at every angle. I was at a party the other night, and these two women felt perfectly comfortable making really broad man hate comments. Oh, this is why I hate men. Stuff like that. And I'm standing right there, and I'm like, I'm not cool with that. I have a lot of good friends and people in my family, and I don't really appreciate that. In the same way, if someone said that and substituted woman in there, it's not cool. And it's become so vogue and acceptable to just say these statements of man hate. And it's like, well, do you have a father? Do you love him? Do you have an uncle? Do you have brothers that you love? Well, they're men too. And I'm not Harvey Weinstein. I didn't do that. It's weird how acceptable that is now. And women wonder why we don't want to go ahead on dates. Yeah, I'm at a party with you. I could ask you out, and then you spew your man hate. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go hang out with my friends. I'm not that into this. And they just feel like it's totally cool for them to say that. It's not cool. Let's get one more. Don't throw all the blame on guys. Thankfully, I never got married. I stayed single, and having a woman divorce me will never be a problem I'll need to deal with. It's never going to be a problem he's going to need to deal with. Let's end it on that. Yeah, this one was a winding road. Hormones, boredom, AI stuff, stats and comments. Like life, it can be a little messy. So do your best out there. Try to have fun. Like and subscribe, and we'll see everybody in the next video.